Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Smiling Shotgun Show. Today's episode is Two Betrayals in Halo Combat Evolved. What? No loading screen? But I love those!
Which means that any organism with sufficient mass and cognitive capability is a potential vector. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
Splendid, shall we?
Now you see this, Master Chief never runs anywhere. He walks with purpose. He's like Darth Vader that way.
Unfortunately, my usefulness to this particular endeavor has come to an end. Protocol does not allow units with my classification to perform a task as important as the reunification
Still walking.
of index with the coma. That final step is reserved for you, Reclaimer.
Hey, look, okay, take the glow stick, I put it in the slot, and look at all the pretty lights. What's gonna happen? And no, nothing works.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
Oh, she looks ticked.
Cortana.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to...
You went out and partied, you didn't invite me. I'm explaining.
I didn't realize. He's your pal, is he? Your chum?
She doesn't believe it.
Have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes. Activate Halo's defenses and destroy the Flood, which is why we brought the index to the control center.
You mean this?
She took the glow stick.
In the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Sod off.
Sod off. Okay, Cortana's British now.
You sure that's a good idea?
She took the glow stick.
How dare you? Oh!
Do what? I have the index. You can just float and sputter.
She wanted to say something else.
The Flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
You have no idea how this ring works, do you? Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to...
I don't want to be any stinking Flood
starve them
food.
to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life. You don't believe me? Ask him.
Floating eyeball, is there something you'd like to share with the class?
More or less. Technically, this installation's pulse has a maximum effective radius of 25,000 light years. But once the others follow suit, this galaxy will be quite devoid of life. Or at least any life with sufficient biomass to sustain the Flood. But you already knew that.
Left out that little detail, did he?
We have found...
I'm going to stick my armored foot all the way up his little tiny robotic CPU.
I'm picking up movement.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
We need to go right now.
Last time,
Do we have to go?
if it were...
I don't want to go. I like it here.
Having had considerable time to ponder your...
Alright kids, in case you can't figure it out, the hostiles are now going to include the Sentinels
Get us out of here.
once this cutscene ends.
I'm willing to help. I will simply find another. Still, I must have the index. Give your construct to me, or I will be forced to take her from you.
Seriously, I'm being threatened by a bowling ball.
So be it. Save his head. Dispose of the rest.
Look out.
Remember the robots? They're evil now. So, what you gotta do is take your plasma pistol, overcharge it, and zap them. Sentinels are more susceptible to energy weapons than projectile weapons. Plasma rifle, plasma pistol, you get the picture. Also, when a sentinel hits the ground, it explodes, so don't be by it.
We have to destroy Halo. According
Now, you also start with a shotgun, my weapon of choice.
an explosion of sufficient
You're going to use
size
it
will
against the
help
Covenant,
neutralize the
but
ring.
not at this
And
range,
cut through a number
because
of
a shotgun at this range is akin to hurling insults and, you know,
however.
insulting their mothers.
Critical.
Now, the Sentinels are going to duke it out with the Flood.
I'm going to
And the
search what's
Covenant.
left of the Covenant battle net.
The Covenant
See
will
if
attack the
Halo Pillar
Sentinels.
of Autumn's crash site.
So,
If the ships
you can
choose
try to
attack
play
with
both sides
a
against each
relatively
other.
attack, we can use them to destroy Halo.
now, in this level, you're going to retrace a lot of the territory you fought on during Assault on the control room. It's going to be quite a hike. First things first, you're going to have to get yourself to the bottom of the slope. Bottom of this big structure.
I haven't located the crash site yet, but
Alright,
to
just
buy
make
some
your way
time
down
in case
this
the monster
ramp
or his sentinels find a way to
and
activate
look up there.
Halo's final weapon
You have to
without
get up
the
there.
index.
Right now, Cortana is going
The
to start
machinery
spouting
on
off
these
some
panels are
technical
Halo's
mumbo
primary
jumbo
firing
that we don't understand nor care
They
about.
consist of 3 phase pulse
So,
generators that
what you gotta
amplify
do
Halo's signal and allow
Is
it to
first
fire
get down the
deep
ramp.
into
I'm
space.
pretty sure I said it already. But anyway,
Pulses are enormous.
I meant
can't
it.
even begin to calculate the pulse's range.
Kill the Covenant as you go.
So,
Otherwise,
if you
they'll
damage
waltz
or
up
destroy
and
these
stick a
generators,
grenade to
the
your butt.
monitor will need
They
to
love doing
repair
that.
them before
They're
Halo
jerks
can
like
be
that.
used. That should buy us some time. I'm marking the location of the nearest pulse generator with a nav point. We need to move in and neutralize the device.
As tempting as it might be, don't just try to slide down the pyramid. It's a longer drop than you think. Now, at the bottom of the structure, there's going to be some banshees just for you. But first, watch out for spider elites. Now, if you're like me, you're probably going to want to keep the shotgun. Granted, I love shotguns, so that's no surprise. But while it doesn't come in handy much right here, you're going to need it once you get up into the control rooms.
Generator in time.
Now, there's a wraith over there that's going to do its very best to make your life miserable. So I suggest coming over here and picking up this rocket launcher. There's a med kit there too, but I'd save that for if you're actually hurt. Now, what works well for me is taking the rocket launcher and just force feeding that Wraith a couple rockets. Now, back where the Wraith was, there's a Banshee. A Banshee that you can drive. While you can, go to the left of this ramp and go through that door, fight your way back up to that bridge. It's usually more legwork than it's worth. Now, the Covenant usually, as in 9 times out of 10, won't use that Banshee. If you don't blow it up, you can use it to fly up there. Tooltips! No one likes tooltips. Alright, fly your Banshee up. Now, your primary weapon is the guns. Plasma guns, like mounted plasma rifles. Your secondary weapon is a fuel rod cannon. Now, first things first. Okay, they're not here yet. Well, first things first, later. First things first, actually, you're going to want to fly up here. Cubbies are going to send out a greeting party for you. Now, whatever you do, when you're jumping off the Banshee, be very careful not to let it land on you, because that will splatter you. It's very embarrassing and a very undignified way to die. However, don't be worried if the Banshee falls off the cliff, because a new one will spawn when you come back out. Trust me. Oh look, the arrows are back! I love those. Anyway, follow the arrows. Now Cortana's going to say something very important, so listen to her.
That's the pulse generator. The center core is the signal amplifier. That's what we need to shut down. We need to interrupt the pulse generator's energy stream. I've adjusted your shield system so that it will deliver an EMP burst to disrupt the generator, but you'll need to walk into the beam to trigger it. The EMP blast should neutralize the generator, but it will also drain your shields and leave you vulnerable until they recharge.
So, basically what that boils down to is you gotta run into there, and as soon as you do, your shields are gonna get zapped, and sentinels are gonna crawl out of the woodwork, or rather metalwork, and try to kill you. So be very careful. So anyway, Bungie! Now run. Just keep moving until your shields recharge.
The generator has overloaded. Scanning. The generator's central core is offline. Well done.
Like I said, don't be next to a sentinel. Once you're all finished, go back through the door you came from and head back to the landing pad. Hey look! A brand new Banshee, just like I said!
Second pulse generator is located.
How did that get here? Did the Covenant deliveryman come? And if he did, where'd he go? Alright, get into a Banshee and fly away. Now, down on that bridge is going to be a whole bunch of big ugly Covenant that don't like you. Show them that the feeling is mutual. Now, this level marks the start of the Covenant issuing fuel rod grunts orders. Fuel rod grunts fire fuel rod cannons. Unlike in subsequent Halo games, you can't use fuel rod cannons. And when the grunts that are carrying them die, the fuel rod cannon will fall on the ground and explode after a plasma grenade. Oh yeah, it's also radioactive. Anyway, what you want to do right here is use this Banshee to strafe the heck out of that bridge. While you can use the plasma guns, I prefer to use the fuel rod cannon, because if you fly at them straight for too long, the ones with the fuel rod cannons will knock you straight out of the sky. You can also try to ram them. I like ramming them, but mainly, when you're satisfied with your handiwork, hop out.
Head through that door. That's the way to the next canyon.
Now, the arrows are still there, but now you must go against the arrows. That's right, you're going the wrong way on a one-way street. Live dangerously. Right now, there's just a lot of running, shooting, punching, and grenade throwing that should be very reminiscent of Assault on the Control Room. Now, this isn't Assault on the Control Room, so you can feel free to use that rocket launcher whenever you please. As always, beware of combo detonations. Now, you're going to see some floodies. The floodies are going to do their best to kill the cubbies. You can just sort of let them stew, or you can be a total jerk like I am and toss a grenade into the mix. Or two. Doesn't that feel great? There's some UNSC weapons right here for you. Now, the Flood and the Covenant are going to go at each other just like before. So, when applicable, you can let them kill each other. Remember, you're moving against the arrows now. Now a lot of these Covenant and Flood are going to be preoccupied, so use that to your advantage. Watch out for that douche with the sword. Send him to oblivion. Now, the Floodies can jump that gap. And you can shoot at them if you really want to. Thing is, you're going right over there anyway, so don't bother. Shoot the ones that manage to make it over, and then keep moving. Now remember, you're going against the arrows now. Also, always beware of the Flood with rocket launchers. They try so hard. You gotta give them that. Anyway, just keep following the path backwards. By the way, remember that the Flood carrier forms, the big poofy ones, when they blow up, they can explode the grenades on the ground. Which is very embarrassing if you happen to be standing right there. Honestly, this is going to seem like a lot of deja vu, because all you really have to do is follow the arrows. Except backwards. Alright, seriously though. You get the idea. These bridges are tough. Alright, where were we? Now, we're going to be very careful about the ones with the rocket launchers, aren't we? Yes, we are. Once you've finally gotten past the idiots with the rocket launchers, this should get so much easier. See? Ta-da! Watch out for stealth elites. Not the dead one. When you're being attacked by the Flood, always listen to what weapon they're using. It can be hard to see sometimes, but if you can hear what they're shooting at you, you'll know what range to be at. Keep following the arrows backwards. hate those things even. Keep in mind, you cannot win in a melee fight against the Flood. So if you start to run low, you should really find any weapon you can. Just keep following the arrows backwards. Now,
Okay.
once you get back down here, you're gonna have more Covenant to fight. I find it can be fun. Take a ghost and go crazy. Out here. In these hallways there's extra ammunition. Pick it up, you're gonna need it. Make the enemy Wraith your top priority. Remember the ammunition cache down in this little tiny crevice, hole, what to call it. Once you get the Wraith down, pop up the rest of the infantry. Problem is, you're probably gonna have to leave it right here. Here. Only problem is there's no crew. This is covered on top of the ridge, so you're gonna have to be careful. The Warthog will speed up your travel quite a bit, but it also makes it more vulnerable. My suggestion: use it to get around, but jump out if you have to fight.